What's going on, everyone? I am DV, and of course, I would like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in for another all-new episode right here on Me and Mine TV. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, had to have a water break. Because after doing these videos now for the past, 4 months now, I've learned something that if I'm going to be out here filming in 100-degree temperature on these hot-ass Atlanta days, I better have me some water on standby or I'm going to have some dry mouth. But never mind that. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I have to be honest with each and every one of you. I'm not really making this video because I want to. I'm making this video really out of peer pressure, because after my last upload where I went into detail about all the modifications that I've done to my car, my friends, or at least that's what they like to call themselves, could not wait to make fun of me, could not wait to put me on blast for reasons that they like to say how I conveniently left out some quote unquote important information. Now, if you are a car junkie like me, and you have a bunch of friends who are also car junkies, you and they alike, just like me and my friends and every other car group of people out there, love to make fun of other people in the group about things they can't do, things they don't like to do, and things that they don't want to do. And ladies and gentlemen, I am no different. Because my friends, again, that's what they like to call themselves, always love to tell me how I am not a quote unquote car guy. Now, I don't know what that means. So I went on Google and said, Google, what is the definition of a car guy? You know what Google told me? Google told me no search results found. Okay, so I went to church. I asked God, what is the definition of a car guy? You know what God told me? He's like, DV, my son, I don't know. So not only does Google, who knows everything, and God, who created everything, they don't know what a car guy is. But apparently, my grouping of friends know exactly what the definition of a car guy is. Now, what my friends love to define me as not being a car guy are really three specific reasons. The first reason I have already covered, because what my friends love to rag on me about, and I'm pretty sure you already know, is the fact that I don't have a V8 engine. Now, if you're subscribed to my channel, you already know how I feel about this V6 versus V8 garbage. And if you're watching me for the first time, check out the video link on your screen, because I go into grave detail about exactly what I feel and how I feel about this V6 versus V8 garbage. But the remaining two reasons are really quite comical, because the number two reason that my friends love to say I'm not a car guy is the fact that I don't drag race my Camaro. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have to be honest with you. I have never done a street race in my life. I've never done a drag race in my life. I've never done a quarter mile in my life, because drag racing, street racing, and quarter miles aren't really that interesting to me. Because drag racing, street racing, and quarter mile times to me are really like an orgasm, because you put in all that time, you put in all that effort to do something that only lasts 12 seconds, and then you really can't do it again for what, 35, 45 minutes, and then you're hoping it will be better than the last one. Chances are it never is. Because, ladies and gentlemen, what I love to do with my car is I love to go to racetracks, Road Atlanta, Laguna Seca, Watkins Glen, because that's the type of driver I am. But for some weird reason, my grouping of friends, but again, that's what they like to call themselves, only seem to think that the purpose of a Camaro or any kind of muscle car is to only go fast in a straight line. And if anybody has any other definition to that, then again, like me, they are not a car guy. But let's go ahead and move to the third and final thing. Now, the third and final reason that my friends, or at least that's what they like to call themselves, like to tell me how I'm not a quote-unquote car guy, is to the fact that I do not install any of my mods. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are two specific reasons why I don't install any of the mods on my car. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen any of my videos, or if you're subscribed to my channel, you already know that I make mention in practically each and every one of those videos how to the fact that I am a truck driver. I don't work a normal 9 to 5 off on the weekends type of job like a lot of you watching me have. I work for about a month and a half straight, come home and have about 3 or 4 days off. And the last thing I want to do is spend 4, 5, 6 hours doing something on my car. Because I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be cocky, but in a person's situation like mine, my time is valuable, because the last thing I want to do is spend half of my day doing anything with something or someone that takes up half of my day. But the most important reason why I don't install any of my mods, a lot of you will probably think is corny. A lot of you will probably say it's downright lame, but ladies and gentlemen, it is me. The reason why I don't install any of the mods on my car is because after I wrapped the hood, wrapped the trunk, installed the spoiler, and dipped the rims, I did not come away with the same appreciation. I did not come away with the same joy that I would have if somebody else would have done it for me. Now again, you're probably sitting there like, what the hell did he just say? I know he did not say what I think he just said, because that is probably the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But for those of you who think that, let me illustrate my point in a matter that the vast majority of you watching me now can relate to. Now, have you ever bought a car? Doesn't matter if it's new or used. You go up to a dealership, you're like, you know what, sir, I'm looking for this type of car. They find that particular car. You go on that quarter-mile test drive. You come back to the dealership and you're thinking, okay, I'm liking this car. How much are you willing to work on the price? So you guys hatch out the deal. You whip out the credit card like, sir, go ahead, swipe that card. Get that down payment. You sign the paperwork, and then after everything's all said and done, they stick you in that lonely ass waiting room. So you're sitting there as they're taking your car to get filled up with gas, if indeed they still do that in 2016, because I know when I got my car, I think my car had a quarter of a tank, but that's neither here nor there. You know, they're taking it off to get washed and waxed and detailed. Meanwhile, you're in that waiting room, 5 minutes goes by, you're like, what the fuck is taking so long? And then all of a sudden, about 4 days later, they come into that waiting room and like, you know what, Mr. or Mrs. Such and Such? Your car's ready to go home. So you leap out that seat like, all right, let's go. Where's my car? Where's it at? Or you may be one of those people who want to play it cool like, okay, well, let me go ahead and check it out. So you're walking through the dealership. They open that door. You make that right-hand turn. And for the very first time, you see your car. No longer the dealership's car, your car. Now, you know that feeling that you get because you feel like you're on cloud 9. You're eternally happy. You're like a 5-year-old who just got told they're going to McDonald's and getting a Happy Meal. Or again, you may be one of those cool people like, all right, thank you, sir, for your help. I'll get in my car and I'll go home. But we all know, because we all do the same thing, the moment we get in our car for the very first time, start it up, put it into gear, and roll out the dealership lot and hit that street, each and every one of us know we are jumping for joy, beating on the steering wheel, pounding on the roof, because we are happy for being in our car and seeing our car for the very first time. And that feeling right there, we know, cannot be emulated. It cannot be duplicated. We can only get that feeling at its true essence when we see something that is given to us that we did not have any kind of impact in doing for the very first time. And that right there is the main reason why I do not install any of the mods on my car. Because I love when I saw my car for the very first time after my rockers installed. It's like I'm seeing my car for the very first time. I love it when I got my splitter installed and I saw it for the very first time. Same thing when I got my suspension installed, and the same thing in a couple of weeks when I get my brakes installed. I'm going to get that feeling of seeing my car for the very first time. Why? Because I didn't do it myself. And again, I know some of you are probably thinking like, okay, you know, that makes somewhat sense, but I'm not paying 40, 50 and some odd $100 of money to get somebody else to do a job that I can do myself. I'm not hating on you for doing that, because everybody has different likes, and that's my like when it pertains to my car. Because I don't mind spending the $50 it took to get my rockers installed. Could I have done it myself? Yes, but I don't want to spend 2 hours doing it. Could I have saved $60 when I got my splitter installed and kept 2 hours doing it? Yes, I could have, but I didn't want to. Same thing with my suspension. Could I have installed my suspension? No, because I'm not really that mechanical, but if I could have done it, would I have done it? No, because what I love most about having other people do things to my car, not only just seeing my car for the first time, is interacting with other car junkies, letting me have other people's opinions of what they think my car looks like now after whatever they installed is installed. And that right there is the reason why I do not install any of the parts on my car. And I'm sure some of my friends who are watching me now, just like they watched my previous upload, cannot wait to be sending me text messages on my phone or sending me private messages telling me how corny and how lame I am. But ladies and gentlemen, this is my car. Doing to it what I've done to it is exactly what makes me happy. But my question is to everyone who's watching me now: do you install your own mods? Do you have somebody else install your own mods for you? Do you agree with what I say about when you see your car for the very first time after something is installed, you get that same feeling that you got when you first got your car? Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Me and Mine TV. Don't forget to subscribe, and as always, please comment on the video because I love interacting with each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe, check out my other videos, stay tuned for my next upload.